Welcome to the review room, where truth and scenes are exposed.
Hey, Sabrina, wait!
Get off me!
Listen, I can explain.
Explain what? I just saw you having sex with Penelope.
Welcome to Miss China Review Room, where truth and scenes are exposed. So today, people, I will be reviewing Sisters season 9 episode 1. So last night, people, it dropped the episode dropped last night at 9 o'clock on BET, and I just want to get into the key points in the episode. I'm not going to make this too long because so let me just start off with saying there was the first episode was fairly good. I did enjoy it. It was some scenes I could have done without. Like the Sabrina part, I could have done without Sabrina, the dragon of Sabrina's part with Rich. I'm totally over Penelope. I'm so sick of Penelope. So let's just get started with it. So the scene starts off with Zach and Andy after the whole shooting thing. So what we can see is Gary is under the table, scared to death. I mean, shivering, people, like a baby, okay? Like, he was so goddamn scared. I was laughing when he was underneath that table. I don't know about y'all, but I was cracking up when he was underneath the table. And so were a lot of people that were online last night with me. But Gary's under the table. He's scared. Zach is talking to the cops. The cops get there. Hudson was the one who got shot, but refresh my memory, people, is Hudson still alive, or is he? I'm not sure. I have to go back to the episode because they did that episode with him really quick. I seen him on the ground, but it almost sounded like the cops said that basically he was still breathing and he had just got shot. So let's see what happens with that. So then Andy and Zach is talking to the cops, and as usual, Zach is hilarious. He's, you know, going backwards and forwards with the cop, and he's saying the little funny things, but overall, Andy is sitting down looking nervous when Zach says to Andy that Gary, really like helped him out with Hudson, getting a gun away from Hudson. Andy does this look at Gary, and I'm like, I know damn well she is not feeling bad for Gary. She better not be feeling bad for Gary. Like, I'm so over her and Gary. They better not do it for season 9. They better not do it. They better put her with Robin. That's the only thing I'm thinking in this episode, in this scene right here. I was like, why the hell is she looking at him like that? So we move on. Well, they have their conversation, and then Zach takes Andy home. So we get to Karen and Fatima, and people, Karen, clock it. Karen is playing the hell out of that scene. Karen is playing the hell out of that scene, honey. She is playing the hell out of that scene. I'm like, girl, she had me in my feelings. I was like, oh my God, I feel her pain. She is playing the hell out of that role. So her and Fatima are in the car trying to get to the hospital, but there's the weirdest blackout I ever seen in my life, okay? So it's a blackout. The phones, at first, there's no reception, but they're getting text messages. Then they get to the hospital, the lights is just blinking off and on. Fatima phones works to call Zach and them, but Andy and Zach don't have reception. When we get to Danny's house, Danny lights is on, everybody's lights is on, but there's no power. I'm like, wait, what? They said, oh, because of this outage, the power outage, the blackout, nothing is working. Yeah, things are working. The lights are on in Danny's house, the lights is on in Andy's house, the lights is on. Like, I'm like, how is the lights on and y'all receiving messages, but you have no reception? I don't know if Tyler Perry was thinking when it came to that part, but like, what? It was, I don't know if I was on live again with last night, and was a little confused why they kept saying they have no power, but Fatima is actually calling Zach on the phone and calling Andy and leaving messages, but Zach and Andy didn't have reception. They kept saying, oh, it's no reception. Then she's listening to the messages saying she can't call Fatima back, but she could listen to the message. I'm confused. I was like, all right, this blackout thing is all over the place. They didn't have that really together. So Cameron and Fatima get to the hospital finally, and then they come across this nurse at the front desk. So I see the whole meaning behind what they're doing with this episode when it comes to Karen. It shows how black women don't get the care they need when they are pregnant and they go to the hospital and they're in dire need, you know, in a situation like Karen is in. They get ignored. Their request for help and pain and how much pain they in gets ignored by certain doctors. So yeah, so they're in the hospital and Fatima is asking the nurse to get her a bed because she's really in labor, and then things are different because Karen now has chills. She has a fever. Fatima says she feels very warm and something is not right. And people, in this part, I love that Fatima is there for Karen, and I feel like her and Fatima are going to be the closest ones at this point, because I'm thinking about the situation that happens later with Zach and Andy, right? It may not be nothing, people, but I don't know what they was trying to do there, but I'll get to that part. So they in the hospital and Fatima is constantly asking the nurse, oh, she needs a bed. So the nurse has this whole attitude, well, she has to wait, they sit her down. Karen is in so much pain, and I'm telling you, people, I felt Karen pain. Like, I was like, oh my God, this girl is playing the hell out of this part, girl. So next we go back to Zach and Andy. Zach and Andy are Zach and Andy are back at Andy's penthouse, right? So as they're at the penthouse, Andy is still shooken up about everything that transpired at Gary's office, right? The shooting and everything. She's still a little shooken up, so I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. But they had their scene on, I feel like, long, kind of like their scene was a little bit longer than everybody else's. So I was trying to see what was the point behind that. Like, why was their scene as long as it was with them sitting there talking? And it almost seemed like, okay, are you trying to show us that Zach is there for Andy and now she's going to start looking at him a different type of way? Because I'm like, wait a minute, if they do that, I'm not watching it. If they try to do that, I'm done. Okay, and I love Sisters, so I don't know if I would be able to actually watch it if they did something like that, which I don't think that they're going to do, but just in case, I'm putting it out there. So her and Zach are sitting there talking, and Andy again is real shooken up about what happened at the law firm. She's like, she asked Zach, have you ever been in a situation where you could have lost your life? And Zach's like, yeah, Blue, plenty of times. So he's trying to talk to her to, ease her mind about everything that happened. So she in return tells Zach that she was scared and she doesn't trust Gary. So maybe the look she gave him when they were in the office wasn't like, I feel sorry for you look. It just was a look like, I'm scared of him, of what he might do now that he's not the one getting arrested or he's not the one that got shot. So maybe that's where it came from. So okay, so we'll get back to them. So they having this conversation, and then we just jump right back over to Fatima and Karen. Finally, Karen gets a room, she gets a bed, and before she gets that bed, the original nurse at the front desk did not want to give her her bed. She had to wait till the black nurse came, and when the black nurse came, she told the front desk white nurse that, listen, I'm giving her this room. This girl is in pain. I'm giving it to her because the nurse that was at the front desk was going to kindly give it to someone else. Okay, so that pissed me off. I mean, this whole scene with Karen, her scene pissed me off so bad. Like, I was so mad, but I understood the message behind it, and I know it's just a show, but this is reality, people. This is reality. This is what they do to us. This is definitely reality. So the black nurse finally gets Cameron to bed. Cameron's in the bed and she's still in a lot of pain. Fatima is still trying to call Andy, Zach, and the girls, but nobody is answering the phone. Fatima is leaving all types of messages and all types of shit like that. So I put in my notes that I really, really felt bad for for Karen. Then next we go to Sabrina. Now let me just say this. I'm going to put up this clip right now. I'm going to I had to look up the clip where I seen in the trailer before the show came on, I seen Sabrina having that conversation where she says, why her? And it looked like she was sitting inside of the juice shop, but maybe I was wrong. I guess I was wrong because they were actually outside, but she's there talking to Rich. And okay, Sabrina, you decided that you were going to go ahead and have, use Damani's sperm, and you and Rich wasn't on good terms. I'm not saying what Rich did was right. That's not my point. But what I'm saying is Sabrina came as if they were still together. She was bringing him his stuff. So if you're bringing him his stuff, and after what happened on the last, the way they ended things, you would think that they were going to break up, right? So she was bringing him his stuff. And I know it hurt to see him with Penelope, but I'm going to need for you to make up your mind, Sabrina. I'm going to need for you to, do you want Rich or do you not want Rich? I mean, again, people, I'm not condoning what he did. I'm just saying, like, the Sabrina part was dragging for me. It's like, why are you still standing there having this conversation with him, though? Like, all right, you caught him. It's done with. Go about your business, because you was getting ready to break it off, right? You decided that you wanted to be just friends, right? And then Penelope. They got Penelope doing a little bit too much, but I guess it's good. It's entertainment. So Penelope in that scene comes out. I'm just paraphrasing, people. I'm not saying it all in exact order. I'm just giving my key points and what I seen in the episode that, made me think about what was going on there. So Penelope comes out, and I bet you damn well she didn't put up that hand to Sabrina like she did to Andy, but yeah. She comes out, and Penelope is just trying to egg on Sabrina and make her feel away, and of course, because clearly this is Andy's friend and she don't really give a fuck. Okay, so like, oh, I'm sorry, I gotta beep that out. She don't really care. Okay, so she's going backwards and forwards with Sabrina, but Sabrina did give her the business. She told her, y'all both basically desperate, so she left it there. So then finally, well, she didn't even say that part at this point in the episode. They went back to them again, and then she said it, and then she walked off. So I just need for Sabrina to make up her mind really when it comes to Rich, because I thought these guys would be out this season. I thought these guys would not be in the new season, but it looks like for right now they are. And then we go over to Tony and Danny and Tony. Danny and Tony is having a conversation about if he should go to Alaska or not. And Danny is my girl. Danny said, I'm not doing no long distance relationship, so that's not going to happen. If you're going to go, you're going to go, but we're not going to be together. So she made it very clear to him. And then their scene wasn't really too much to it. She kind of just really had sex with him, and then they kind of, we'll figure it out after the fact. So I guess as we get more into the season, we'll see more about Tony and Danny. But my opinion on Tony is I feel like maybe Tony is not being totally honest with Danny when it comes to him leaving to go to Alaska. I don't know. It's just something about that story that doesn't sit right with me. But I have to wait and see as we go further along in the season. But yeah. So then we go back to Zach and Andy. And when we go back to Zach and Andy, all of a sudden Zach's phone comes on. But then he said he doesn't have enough juice. So he goes to try to charge up the phone, and there's no power. I'm like, but the lights are on. Okay. So as Zach is standing there trying to get into his phone, he's calling for Andy. Andy went in the room to go change her clothes. So when she went in the room to go change her clothes, Zach's calling, yo, Andy, I'm about to be out. Yo, Andy, I'm about to be out. But Andy's not answering. So he goes over to the door. He knocks first, and then he opens it. And then Andy turns around, and she has on no shirt, right? I think she had on bottoms, people. But the point was I don't think she was totally naked. She had on a shirt. She turned around, and then she's like, oh, God. But a lot of us was feeling like, well, Andy, did you purposely do that? Because you didn't hear him calling you. But people, we got to realize this is TV. So, I mean, a lot of stuff that go on Sistas and the other shows, even Divorce Sisters, is little scenes, you'd be like, but wait a minute. But yeah. I'm not sure if it was on purpose or if she knew he would walk in the door, but knowing the relationship she has with Fatima, I don't think that they would do that. And if they did, honey, I would be, I'll be writing Tyler Perry on that one. So, and I know you all feel the same way. So Andy finally turns around. She comes out the room and she's like, damn, you just, but maybe Andy's mind, when he walked in the room, it does seem like her mind was somewhere else. Maybe she wasn't really paying attention. Maybe she was, I don't know what it was, but I don't know about that part with her and Zach. Like, it had me looking like sideways. Like, wait a minute, why'd she do that? But okay, I know she don't want the problems with Fatima. And her Fatima is supposed to be close friends, and I don't see Andy doing that. So I don't know. Maybe it's an explanation behind that, but who knows? Okay. So they come in, well, after Andy gets dressed, she comes in the living room and they finally get some type of power. They hear the message from Fatima, but the first message is not about Cameron. It's about Fatima worried about Andy when it came to Gary, and she didn't hear from her and she was really concerned. Fatima, that was her first message. Her second message was the same thing, and the cute part was Andy was like, I'm telling Zach, like, she don't play about me, and she sure don't play about Andy. So I know Andy wouldn't play herself with Zach. So after they get those 2 phone calls, Zach is looking at his phone call and he realized Fatima called like 10 times, but he still can't get no reception from his phone, and that was what was puzzling me. Like, what? Huh? So, all right. So then they finally get the call. They finally get the message from Fatima that Cameron is in the hospital and things are not going too well. So her and Zach run out, and then we hop over to everybody getting a phone call, which is Sabrina gets the phone call while she's in the car after she's already stressed out about what happened with Rich. Danny gets the phone call while she's sitting down talking to while she's sitting down talking to Tony, and they're trying to figure things out. And then basically everybody gets the call, everybody's in shock, and everybody's headed to the hospital, and that's how the episode ends. Well, the episode ends when they go back to the hospital and Karen is still in a lot of pain and the doctor is basically ignoring it. Okay, so again, people, and that was basically the end of the episode until the next episode. So it's a few scenes that I will be posting on my page today, just to give us a look at everything that happened yesterday. So as far as this episode, like I said, people, I did enjoy it. It seems I could have did without, not really without, but the Sabrina scene seemed like it was just dragging a little bit. I'm like, Sabrina, just go home. The Danny scene, it wasn't really much to it. The most exciting scene was the Karen scene. So Karen carried this episode, and I think she'll do a few others now that she's in the hospital getting ready to have the twins. The little situation that may happen with Zach and Fatima, I can kind of see it coming now, because Zach seems like he's going to get real emotional if anything happens to Karen, like he did when he thought she was, had died in the fire. So I could see him going, not overdoing it, but making Fatima feel like, okay, but I'm pregnant here too. So, I'm trying to be here for her. This is stressing me out. I'm afraid for her. But remember, people, Fatima is pregnant too. So I could see when people were saying they may break up for the first few episodes, it might be possible because, I think Zach is going to go inside of some type of depression because maybe one of the twins are not going to make it. And I hope it's not Cameron that may be going out the show. I doubt it. I really hope not. But but Zach is going to be going through something, and I think it may be because of one of the twins, or she may lose both, because remember, people, she's bleeding. So it's like I'm not too sure how Tyler Perry is going to spin that, unless Karen has other ventures, like in her acting career, her real life. She may be going out the show, or she may be going out the show for a little while so that she could work on another show or something like that. I don't know, because sometimes Tyler Perry does that and then he'll wind up bringing the people back. But like I said, I am feeling for Karen. I don't know how y'all feel, but Karen is Cameron is doing the damn thing when it comes to acting on this episode. Because, girl, I was almost in tears. I was so hurt that they wasn't helping her the proper way. But I got the message behind it, and I hope you all did too. So stay tuned for my review on Divorced Sisters, so I could give you my thoughts on that. I mean, because they was bringing it last night on Divorced Sisters. I mean, it was popping. So I'm not gonna lie about that. So stay tuned for my next review. Give me your thoughts and let me know what you thought about the episode last night. My ranking for this episode, which was the first episode of season 9 of Sisters, I'm gonna give it like an 8.5 out of 10. Because I really enjoyed it. I didn't give it a 9. Well, I'll give it a 9. I want to say it was a 9. I didn't give it a 10 only because of the Sabrina scene. I just wanted it to be over. And then that little scene with Zach and Andy, I wasn't feeling that. So I was like, what are they trying to do here? Even though I don't think they'll do anything. But I wasn't feeling that. So I wouldn't give it a whole 10. But a 9, I give it. So what's your thoughts on the episode and what ranking you give it? Stay tuned.